I named Bella, and me, my friend Muggy, and her cousin Netta want to tell you all what happened one time to Silinaka's Sponge House on Elizabeth Avenue, where we was waking. Basil is supposed to empty the sponge basket when we fill them up, and put empty ones there, and sweep up any loose sponge. But every little while he just sweep by with a broom if he won't catch gap seed. But this morning, we early, so we stopped across from the Two Sisters Bakery in the library yard to talk. Basil say, you know here Mr. Silly Napkin put Red Lisbeth in charge of you.
In charge of who?
Basil say, she tell him he could get more work out of Yenna if he had someone to oversee her.
So how come he picked Lisbeth?
So I say, you gotta ask that Bella, and we don't know he's sweethearting her.
Huh. She just better don't let Black Jack find out, 'cause you know his head ain't too good.
I say that's good for him. These man too like these hard red woman.
The thing is, Black Jack so black, and Mr. Silly Knocker so white, but the two of them like that color.
So Basil tell us, he tell me, he say, mine, woman better watch what you say, Ain't Silly Napkin who's sweethearting Lisbeth. It's the supervisor Plackers who's sweethearting her. And he just let Mr. Silly Napkin take out a couple of shillings a week out his pay to put her in charge, 'cause that's what she want.
So, 'cause she get a little piece of color, she don't want to do the same kind of work we do. And she thinks she better than we?
Well, she better don't play fool around me, 'cause I know when her ma had every one of them 8 children for 10 different men. And I'll tell Lisbeth so.
8 children for 10 different men?
8 children for 10 different men. So Basil say, they used to give anything for the children? I say the only one who used to give anything was Carly boyfriend Harcourt.
One was his own, eh?
I tell him, I say not a crazy one. He been living with Carly now over 20-something years. First, he sweetheart Marlene on Carly. Then he sweetheart Nora. And ain't none of them had no children for him. But when Marlene and when Nora leave him, they had children for their next boyfriend. So when the Spanish Welsh woman tell him all her children was for him, you should see the old fool when he get paid on Saturday, going round to her with a couple of shillings which Carly leave him with when she don't take out home.
But, Muggy, how Carly know he done take out some?
He was gardener to Royal Victoria, and she used to go meet him when he get paid. That gal wasn't food. Well, Basil asked what make him think the children is his own. Say if she gave him something to swing his head. I tell him, when Lisbeth ma older leave school, her ma sent her down from Spanish Wells to stay with Carly, 'cause things was hard. That's his cousin. In no time he started sweethearting Harcourt, and Harcourt's sister Lucy Sunset.
Sweethearting the own cousin boyfriend in the woman own house. And after she take her in, what less?
Yeah, well, when Ola get with Lisbeth, Sid say he married her. But he was Lucy's only child. And she tells Sid she'll walk behind him first. 3 weeks later he drowned, about 4 foot from the wharf. When Lucy was walking behind the coffin, all she could do was keep clapping her hand and saying, I say I'll walk behind you first. But I didn't understand. Wish to God I didn't say it.
Ola and Lisbeth sound like it's a no good bunch of women in their family.
Yeah, well, after Sid died, Ola tell Harcourt the child she was carrying is his own. He rent one little room for her and start stopping there in the evening when he coming from work before he go home to Carly.
What about the rest of children?
After Harcourt go home to Carly in the night, any man what Ola was liking could go there. That's how she had all of them children. Lisbeth, he said, favor sit down, he deli. So Basil now, passing by, say, and Harcourt was paying the rent.
Where he is now?
Well, when he get too old and he stopped working, Ola tell him she ain't want him round her place.
Hey, gal,
He say he coming anyway, 'cause he want to see children. He did like yellow corn grits with steamed mackerel, and all cook it for him every time he come. But she won't let the children eat none. Little while after that, he take bed, and Carly had him mind him.
I bet all the dad bad.
Then he take up with one sissy man who had one sissy boyfriend named Naaman.
He peck till he peck needle without eye.
Well, boy, still then he can stop on the broom, stop and lean on the broom when he was pushing sponge with another. Who that get sissy man for boyfriend? I know one man who,
Hush your mouth, let me hear the story, buddy. Talk, Muggy.
one Saturday, Naaman meet Ola on the wharf and tell him to leave his man alone. Ola say as long as the man give her money, she ain't letting him go. So Boysel say she was a bold so-and-so and asked what Naaman say. I say Naaman say that's his money. The boyfriend began her. Ola look at him and bust out laughing.
That's a bunch of mess. What Naaman do?
Well, he haul off and give her one nigger blow with all his strength right in her head. Couple of months after that, Harcourt passed away on a Tuesday night. The next Sunday afternoon, Ola was getting ready to go to the funeral. She had a black dress over her head with one arm through one sleeve, and she dropped dead just like that. Blood clot in the brains.
Aha. He ain't even had time to say, Lord have mercy.
Well, on that, Boysel move off pushing the broom. Well, Lisbeth better just make sure she have better luck with plackers. And Blackjack better watch out if she start cooking yellow corn grits and steamed mackerel. One morning, Mr. Silly Knockers hire my cousin Netta, and she come in with Bella 'cause the two of them live Fox Hill.
Morning, Bursel. This our friend Brunette, but we just call her Netta. Mr. Silly Knockers just hired her to work in here with we, and she's starting this morning.
So Boysel, you know he's so mannish. Say, morning Netta. Then he turned to Bella. You know Bella, this look like it can be trouble, 'cause she better looking and younger than Lisbeth. Silly Napkin might change his mind and put her in charge.
I only wish he could. See Elizabeth coming here now, and she get that witch Nidus with her. Who there is?
Now Boysel, he shove off. All he says, trouble. Nidus, open him out. Lisbeth, Mr. Silly Napkin just hire people to stand around and talk, eh?
Bernice, you and Bella know better than to stand round talking instead of doing your work. Who does y'all get with y'all?
This our friend Brunette. Mr. Silly Knockers just hire her.
She from Fox Hill too?
Yeah.
Nidus put him out in it. Look like Mr. Silly Knockers pulling up in here with Fox Hill people. So I say I answer her. That's 'cause people from Thunderbot are so worthless.
Well, y'all gonna have to set a good example for your friend. 'Cause don't forget, I in charge. So don't make me report you to Placas, the overseer in charge.
Nidus answer. From what I see, all you gotta do is report.
Don't mind them, Nettle. You put your box next to me and Muggy, and let me show you how to sort.
Lisbeth put me to way across the yard from Netta. When she hit us, my cousin.
So, Nettle, how you get to find out Muggy is your family?
Well, up to Lower Bogue, I hear Mama them talk all the time about Uncle George's daughter, our cousin, would look so much like Augusta. They say I must look for her when I come down to Nassau, but all I had to do was ask Cousin Rhoda who to sell in the market, 'cause she know all the family. She carry me to Cousin Muggy.
Like they say, Family can't hide.
Well, Cousin Muggy say family gotta stick together. So we can look out for one another in here. 'Cause you get some wicked people in here.
Well, Basil passed by. He holler, you know, just let's be careful. 'Cause Nahum say he hear Elizabeth tell Nidus Netta look like she come here to take her place, but Netta don't know who she fooling with.
My grandma Harriet, who lived with me, was a princess in Africa, and they catch her and sell her here in Nassau for a slave before she married my grandpa Blatch. When she was a slave, she was a nanny to the Sanders family, and they treat her like a princess then. Now slavery over, they just come in the carriage every Sunday for her, so she could spend the day with them, and they still treating her like a princess. I inherit that princess way from her, and I gotta stay that way by the power of the Almighty. And if that Spanish well slut and her slave Nidus don't like it, let them say something to me.
Well, Basil was picking up sponge while he was talking and listening, so Elizabeth won't make him move. Then we only hear when he say, you know, hush, see them coming now? He walk off with the broom in his hand. Nidus, who always got something to say, holler out, Netta, I hear you as Johnny come lately, and you want to take Elizabeth's place. I won't try that if I was you, 'cause all you can do is get yourself hurt.
Elizabeth can't talk for herself, eh? I thought she was the one who's supposed to tote news on us.
She don't want Mr. Silly Knockers to hear she was rowing, 'cause she can't afford to get fired. So I answer her. I say you fool enough to row for her so you could lose your job and get fired.
That's 'cause she the lucky for this red woman, and she ain't get the sense God give her to see it.
She need to mind her own business.
Neither, so answer. That's my friend and I make it my business. And how you getting this?
Just how you make it your business, 'cause that's your friend, that's how it get my business.
Well, I noticed them trying to get Netta trouble, so I called from across the yard. I say, Netta gal,
Hey, Cousin Muggy.
ain't nobody getting you trouble, eh?
They trying, Cousin Muggy. Only trying.
I carry my box and pipe and thing over there, and I figure I can sit with them while I clip don't care what Lisbeth say. And I start grumbling. And I tell them, I say, well, the two of them getting too old to be picking sin. Nidus done 47, and Lisbeth done 50. And everybody know when you're that old and get grandchildren, it's time to put down foolishness. But I guess a fool is a fool is a fool. And then Nidus can turn around. Let me tell all of you this. I in the lodge, I is a grand worthy, excellent matron of the Daughters of the Eastern Star of David, and a member of Excelsior Temple Purple Cross. Don't fool with me if you don't know what's good for yourself. Never answer her.
Anything you throw, we could catch, witch. You and your lodge. So you better have nothing to say to any of us when we come to work. Clock is coming now, Nidus. We better go back to our work.
Well, a couple days after that, Bella was clipping. He head was still light, where he been up all night with Henry and he bad foot. They had one big fight 2 weeks before, 'cause Henry offered Uncle Gil from round Dorset Street some food, and when Bella take it up, she gave Henry pork skin. So Henry say, old Uncle Gil is her boyfriend. That caused big fight, and she bite Henry on his foot. So now she had to stay up most of the night with him. Say good thing she only sleep out to Cousin Amelia for 1 week, 'cause she don't know what poor Henry would do. But now she was so sleepy, 3 o'clock couldn't come quick enough for her. Everyone was talking, happy like, all round her. But it stopped all of a sudden, and everyone turned in Nida's direction, because Nida started hollering across the room with his scratchy voice. They only hear her hollering out to me. "You, Foxhill girl, what wrong with you? Just look how you hackle up these sponge. Though you can't expect no better from you. You're from Foxhill."
I hope you ain't talking to me, woman, 'cause I ain't out for no food today from my dead ma.
That one holler, "I talking to you, and if you don't like it, you could lump it. So don't send no more sponge over here looking like this." All the Foxhill woman and the Hill woman who had Foxhill family cut eye at her. She holler back, "Cut your eye as much as you like. You can't do me nothing." Well, Alma, one short woman from Grantstown, holler out, "I want to know when they put her boss over we." Then someone else from across the yard say, "Some people just too biggity. I hope when push come to shove, they could stand their hand." Well, Sister Chloe, who saved, and I mean true saved, starts singing. She starts singing, "You better make it up in your mind." Well, that make me think, and some of we join in. "Live right and die right. You better make it up in your mind to cross Jordan in a calm time." Well, and thank God that quieting things down. Foxhill and Emancipation Day was coming up, and everyone was asking everyone else, "What you wearing?"
So, Bella, you get your Foxhill Day clothes make yet?
Cal never get it. I let Fan make it for me. She ain't charge me much.
The big mouth one holler out, "People don't charge much to make clothes out of crocus bag."
You talking to her, Bella?
She answered Netta, "You mind your own business, you other Foxhill gal. I ain't talking to you." So I pitch up. I say, "Why one of you don't beat her one time and stop all of her mess?" Then she answer me, "Look who talking. Why you don't come do it?" Here, I take my pipe out my mouth. I stand up. I jam my hat down better. And I tell her, "Fool with me, and I'll make you jump on a fence and piss from the sky." It was a couple of people to the sponge house who used to suck up and help Lisbeth make life miserable on the job for we. Just 'cause Lisbeth was liking the supervisor. Some was Nida's large brothers and sisters too, so they have her. But they soon find out Netta's daughter Alma the spray, and she had praying brothers and sisters. The night before Teets carried a sponge to Netta them, Alma wake up round 1:30 and couldn't go back to sleep till about 2:15 when she gone in one trance. She see when one man juke 2 fork into scorpion, then dip 'em in sugar and try to put 'em in Netta and Muggy mouth. They ain't eat 'em. Instead, they jump on him. And same time, Alma wake with her heart beating. Alma just called Netta's sister, and she kneeled down and put up some serious praying for Netta and Muggy. This is what she prayed. Father, in the name of your son Jesus, I come. I come because you just give me a vision about sister and cousin Muggy. You see, they ain't saved yet, but I saved. And I got to stand in the gap for them. For a long time now, Satan was using some of the people from the sponge house to torment them. But this time, he trying for them to kill them. Don't let him do it. Your son, Jesus said I could ask in his name, and I asked him. He said I could ask anything, and I asked him. I doing all I know. So when I asked, you could hear. And I asked him. And your word, you say the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. Send thy help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings and accept thy sacrifice. Selah, your son is my sacrifice. And I ask that you accept his prayer for sister and cousin Muggy now. I lay them at your feet and ask you to wrap them in your bosom until these indignation be overpassed. Set angels to guard them and hold their soul in life. For in you they live and move and have their being. And so Netta hear Alma praying till 4 in the morning. On that chilly Monday morning in December, Nidus and Elizabeth made it a point to arrive at work before any of the other workers. Bursell Bain, Charlie Wilson, and Cyril Teets or Forky Teets Stirrup were out in the sponge yard chatting with Nahum, commonly called Nahum Fernanda, the driver of the sponge wagon.
Lisbeth, see Cyril there now. I can tell him to do the thing for you tonight.
I already get the money to pay him.
And I can tell him he could sleep to me tonight.
Wait, Mervyn.
He going home to San Salvador, see Uncle Fernand. He ain't coming back till next week.
Gal, you're something else. Suppose you pass the fine out.
His pastor who sleep to me last night. I sent one of the children when church out to tell his wife, tell him, come pray for me, cause I take in bad. He sleep there with me, and when he tell her I was so bad, he had to pray all night.
I glad you on my side.
Let me call Cyril and set this thing up. Cyril!
What you want?
Cyril goes over.
What?
Tell Placus you gonna drive the wagon tonight for the overtime rush job.
Why?
Me and Lisbeth want you to do something for us.
What?
When you gonna deliver the load, dip right over to Ross Corner with some sponge for Netta and Muggy for Mom.
I thought Netta lived Fox Hill.
Yeah, but she does sleep to Muggy sometimes instead of going all the way home. She only got one daughter. She about 15. She does be right in the house with her, but Netta grandmother while Netta sleeping by Muggy.
How you to know all of this about Netta and Muggy business?
I just pay people to find out, but who I don't like.
And I just go about and tell people my enemy is my friend. And but by time I laugh up and talk with them, they'll give me all kind of information about my enemy.
What you want me to do?
I want you get 2 wool and 2 velvet sponge, and I want you give them to them for me. But don't tell them it's me what's in it. Bring them to me before you carry it to them.
Now, Nidus, you know Placus don't mind if we take the old piece of sponge, what they ain't got, what they ain't no good, and they ain't get used for fullers anyway. But you want me thief some of the best kind? And I hear Yena too don't get along with Netta and Muggy anyway. So why you gonna give me them good sponge?
Never mind that. You just tell them they have nice complexion. So since you was working late, you stopped by to give them that. Tell them you ain't see why only white people should have the best. And tell them don't tell no one, cause you don't want to get fired.
What I getting out of this? I could get fired, you know. And I still ain't see why you want get them sponge. And they could try get their own. Netta pretty enough for any man in the sponge yard to thief for her. I won't be surprised if Silly Knockers don't try like her herself.
That's why we want fix them, especially that Netta. Everyone thinks she so pretty. Well, I can make sure my Greek man don't go behind her.
Yeah, for what we gonna put in them sponge, ain't no man can want to look at them.
But that's the inner business what you do. But I still say, what I getting out of it? And I ain't trust that Muggy cause she sharp.
You is my large brother, and we know one another do. If I want you to help me with something, you supposed to help me and keep your mouth shut. The two of we then take the oath. And besides that, Mervyn gone to San Salvador for your uncle funeral. So if you do this for me, you could come by me when you then drop the cart back to work and sleep to me the rest of the night.
Now you cook it with gas and not with oil.
By the time everyone else arrived at work, Nidus and Lisbeth had devised some downright evil plans with the utmost cunning. When Lisbeth and Nidus was going home that evening, they was talking about what they was going to do. Lisbeth said,
So Nidus, how you gonna handle that for Netta them?
so Nidus said, don't worry, I get their things right there for them.
Yeah, but you better watch it. They look like they don't trifle.
Girl, you forget I is a Nanga age, and I is a large member. I ain't scared of nothing they get.
I just want to make sure what you get can work. That's all.
Listen, let me tell you straight and plain what I gonna do. I find out their birthday. Then I go on to the corner by Hager's shack. And I draw one box underneath that big sour lime tree on the edge of his yard. And write their name and birthday in it. I tie one red and one black ribbon together. Put them with some rat hair and 4 lime leaf on top of their name and burn it while I call on the African god Oshala to make Plackers hate them and get Mr. Silly Knockers to fire them. When I finish burning all of that, I take up the ashes and carry it home.
But what if the charlatan go home with you?
Anna say I is a Nanga and a large member. I ain't scared. I know how to protect myself. You ever hear about Hager, the man what juck his wife in the mole while she was most ready to have his child? Well, that's his sour lime tree. I gonna wait my things under. So I ain't got to worry about nothing following me home. The sourness from the tree can make Placker's spirit sour and cross every time he see none of them. That way, we ain't got to worry about Netta taking him from you.
I owe you one for this.
I wash my foot in some pig blood, and I take some of the water what I rinse my foot in afterward, and stir some of the ashes in with it. Then I pour it on the sponge them and let them dry. Now when they wash their face with that, That's Delia wrote the note. Every time they rinse their face off, the water again turn to blood when it fall back in the basin. And they ain't gonna see no cut or nothing. But they can look like rat to people.
I gone to one man one time for him to give me something to give Jack to make his wife look like rat to him. And he give me something to wash Jack's shirt in. So I buy him one shirt and tell him since I buy it for him, he must let me wash it every time it need washing.
Bet he fight with it every time he wear it.
Gal, how you know so good? After that, I'll make friend with your wife friend, is me, who does sell fried goggle eye and Benny cake and ting on Saturday. Then I'll start buying from Ismay, carry it home, and just fix it up and give it to Black Jack for your wife Cedar.
He tell us you who send it?
No, I sweet talk him. I say, Jack, I know Cedar like a little coconut and peanut cake on Saturday. Why it don't surprise her sometime? Keep her mind sweet, so she don't start thinking about whether you get sweetheart or no.
You know how these man go. I bet that snake start grinning.
That time he ain't know I done melt down the coconut cake and the Benny cake. Put my own things in. Put it back to get hard and wrap 'em up for when he reach. He carry 'em home and tell her he buy 'em for her. After a little while, she start ailing and couldn't hardly do nothing for herself. So I used to cook lunch for her and carry it round there to her every day. One day she say, people tell me stop eating from you, but I tell them that child ain't doing me nothing. What you bring for me today?
How long she been dead now?
Going on 14 years.
So how much churn you get for Black Jack?
If I count Island, that make 3. But then I ain't sure. He could be Jack own, as well as he could be Smith own.
I mean the sailors, but you joke heavy now. So all the rest is Smith on?
Nah, I can't say that either. Cause I know at least one is Johnny Bannister own.
That's the one with the barrel head.
Yeah, you could tell it.
Oh yeah, but you just better don't let Jack find out. The next morning, Netta and Bella was under the tree talking for a little while, 'cause wasn't time for wake yet.
Something funny happened last night.
Like what?
Instead of going all the way home up Fox Hill after work, I just spend the night to Muggy sometimes, right over in Ross Corner. Well, last night we was just drinking some sour leaf tea and talking about our family when we heard this person calling Muggy outside in the yard. She opened the window and looked out. It was that forky teeth one who just delivered the sponge. And we done shut the door for the night, 'cause it musty was after 8 o'clock.
You mean Teets? What do you want?
He say something about giving us some wool and velvet sponge, 'cause we complexion so pretty.
Can't never shut your mouth. He come all the way to Muggy house in the night to tell you this?
That's what Muggy asked him. And that's when the two of us start cussing him the same time.
Wait, see Basil? Let him tell about this.
So Basil sashay up. He was passing going to wake.
Basil, Netta say she'd sleep to her cousin Muggy or in Ross Corner sometime, so she don't have to go all the way Fox Hill. Teets gone round there with some wool and velvet sponge last night, offering it to them and talking about their pretty complexion.
So Basil tell him. Hold on. And I tell y'all, Nahum say Nidus and Lisbeth come early and was out in the yard talking so long with Teets.
Well, my spirit don't lead me wrong. My daughter saved, and she was praying so hard for me and Muggy till 4-day Monday morning, 'cause of one dream she had. She dreamed someone was trying to put 2 scorpion in me and Muggy mouth. I tell Muggy the dream after Forky Teeth gone. Go tell Muggy what you say about them talking to Forky Teeth and remind her on my daughter dream, Basil.
Well, I was passing them, going to work, and I see them the same time. They hollered to me. I go and cross to them, and they tell me about it. I say, ain't nobody sent him there to my house with them sponge, but them 2 bad word teething sluts.
And you know they done fixed them sponge to rotten you the face off.
Early next morning, before the other women arrived, Nidus and Lisbeth again accost Teets.
Cyril,
Ah,
come here.
what you call me for?
We thought you gave the thing to Netta them.
You say if I do what you say, I could have stayed all night. But you only let me stay till 11 o'clock. And I ain't get to you till 9:30. Because I had to make the delivery and go to Muggy and take the cart back to the yard.
I had to send you home before 12. 'Cause Spirit does walk after 12.
And we ain't talking about you staying all night. We thought you gave the sponge them to Netta them.
You never get cussed out from Luther Woman and from 2 the same time?
Well, if you that scared of them, that's why you ain't get to sleep the nights all night.
Well, I hear Yinna ain't answer when they say they know it's Yinna who put me up to it.
Anyway, Nidus, let we go start working, 'cause I in charge and I can't afford to be late.
Now, Lisbeth, I gonna bring some things to wipe down Netta and Muggy them box, what they just sit on tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, while I doing that, you watch the gate to see when anybody coming, cause we gotta go early before everybody come.
All right.
Now, when you see them start coming, warn me so I could stop before they reach the gate. And if I can't even do all, I can do Netta on, because that's the one we want to do the most.
Okay. Gal, you could think up some things, Gal Nidus. I glad it ain't me.
We was in we favorite place, eating we lunch. So I tell Basil, you was getting sent out when some things happen, Basil. So we gotta tell you what all happened while you wasn't there. First, them 2 brutes was seatful in. Then Lisbeth tell Nidus,
You bring the thing to wipe down Netta and Muggy box them. What they to sit on?
yeah.
Hurry up then, while I watch the gate.
So Nidus wiped down Netta box with the thing she mixed. But when she was going to do mine, Lisbeth called her.
The crowd coming, Gal Nidus. You won't finish yet?
I only finished Netta on, Nidus holler.
Leave Muggy on then, 'cause I mostly mine for Netta owns anyway.
Well, by the time everyone reached in the yard, they was turning round like they just reached. When we get in the yard, I start sniffing. Then Bella say,
I smell something.
Me too. Smell like someone been wiping down in here with something.
Everyone look at Lisbeth and Nidus. They ain't say a word. Just turn round more. Sister Chloe holler from across the yard. No weapon formed against God people shall prosper. And everyone say, Amen. Well, that evening, when everyone was getting ready to go home, Nidus started digging around in a basket. Then she pulled out the sponge, what she wiped down the box with, and let drop on the hand on my foot. When that splash on my foot, you just could have smelled all the obeah in it. All everyone could have do was just stare at it.
And I tell you, I smell something.
Nidus holler, quick. Excuse me, Muggy. That's my things. I just have to wipe down my box with to protect myself because my mom teach me to be careful. Well, Netta grabbed Nidus. I was so shocked I was still looking at my foot. Thank God Bella grabbed Netta and hold her from beating Nidus.
Not in here, Nettle. Not in here. They can say she missed and do it, and you start the fight.
Then that snake Lisbeth started smiling.
Yeah, Netta. And I as a witness. And I could get you fired, you know.
Netta grabbed her in a collar.
One of these days, I got catch you in the government road.
Then the two of them walk off grinning. Next morning, Netta couldn't get up. He back hurting him so, and he couldn't hardly breathe from the pain. His daughter Alma had to take the message to Bella down Step Street to tell Placus she can't come to work. Everyone was talking about it to the sponge house that day. Alma gave one message for Lisbeth them too. So when she reached the work, Bella talked so everyone could hear.
Netta daughter Alma, give me a message for you, Lisbeth and Nidus. In Numbers chapter 22, verses 5 and 6, Balak, king of Moab, sent for Balaam to curse God people Israel for him. Mind, they ain't do him nothing. God tell Balaam don't go. He asked God again. So God tell him go then. God sent one angel to kill him in the way. And a donkey had he saved his life. He turned round and beat the donkey. The angel tell him it's the donkey would save him because he was going to kill him. He's still gone. But every time he tried curse God people, blessings come out his mouth. So after he bless him, he tell Balak how to catch God people. How one big party, one big jump and dance, ring play. It's say in the Bible. And the people sit down to eat and then rise up to play. In other words, Balaam tell Balak, make them sin, so God could curse them. And they sin. God killed plenty of them. But when they thought God forget, God tell Moses that before he leave this earth, kill the people who trouble his children. And Balaam was in that for sure. So Lisbeth and Nidus, all the way is God own. And one day, you're going to have to look in the face of Almighty God and tell him why you troubling Netta and Muggy to make them sin. It say in Proverbs, lay not in wait against the righteous, O man, and spoil not his resting place.
Well, Nidus holler, what go on between us and our God is not your business, Bella.
God gonna have a last say, Nidus. Netta daughter say Netta wake up round 2:30 this morning and ain't gone back sleep till rooster crow.
One of the older hill people say, that's 'cause these stinking creatures with their stinking old bear and bragging about their stinking lodge, think they is God. With they stinking self.
Trying to stop you from putting a little piece of bread in your mouth.
So I say, I sorry Bella stopped Netta from ragging up that bad word brute.
Well, I didn't realize that's what they did want. So you or Netta could get fired.
We may get fired, but worse than that can happen to them. When time to go home, them two witches was talking and bragging.
Girl, Nidus, I know what you wiped down Netta box with, but it worked. You sure know your stuff.
And neither can answer. That's what I've been telling you. Well, next Monday morning, to the sponge yard, everybody feel their chest. Netta looked tired, but she was there. I limping with one big bandage on my foot. Everyone was upset. Lisbeth holler out across the yard.
Nidus, you don't know about nothing you could give Muggy for that foot, eh? It look painful.
Nida say, I so sorry her foot turned out. I can ask Hagar if he know about anything. But Muggy mightn't want nothing from me because she might think I can poison her. So Netta holler.
Cousin Muggy, I gotta tell Alma to pray for your foot. She anoint my back with anointing oil and pray over it all Friday night. And by Saturday day, I could have sit up. She dream about the kind of bush for your bad foot. When one of a Del Charon get juck with nail. So don't worry. Between the prayers and the bush, you could be alright.
Sister Chloe shout out. Prayers is always the answer, Muggy. I could tell you that because I prove it. Well, Nidus had the answer. You're not trying to throw jazz at me and say I don't pray?
We didn't say that, Nidus. We just saying how important it is to don't forget God. It is He who give you breath.
And you know what that fool answer? Well, he may give breath, but we still can protect we self, Elizabeth. And ain't none of your pot stronger than mine. So just remember that. You know, and your praying daughters, friends, and no anybody else. That ain't gonna help you if you fool with me.
You don't notice how you don't gotta say nothing to some people, and they will tell you throwing jazz at them, and go on right from there?
I tell her, BC. Before summer, you know, come here to wait. We had two gals from Foxville working here. But they over to Espaka Sponge House now. Nidus picks in with them so much they end up leaving.
Yeah, that was Blossom Demerit and Kara Dawkins.
So Nidus still ain't getting shut up. What she can say? Yeah, and that's how I can get rid of all the Foxville people.
You can get rid of a Nidus.
That was Lisbeth the fool. Nidus and Lisbeth was laughing. But Netta say,
We gonna see what the good Lord say about that. We gonna see.
them two witches been picking sin for about 3 months. And though Placus was the supervisor, him and Teets kept. And though I wasn't saved, them said who was saved, they prayed. And Basil and Bella had to stop me and Netta from ragging them up a couple of times. Anyway, God don't put more on you than you could bear. And when it get worse, we noticed Nidus. He belly started showing. So one morning, when Lisbeth was throwing jazz to Nidus about Netta, so all and sundry could hear, and Nidus answered in kind, Netta hit back.
Bella, you ain't notice how my shape changing, eh?
Everybody turned to look at Nidus.
We just was talking about that.
Well, I say, I just hope you ain't carrying scuttle.
For how much people I done hurt, I wouldn't be surprised if I is carrying scuttle.
Well, Nettle, you think you know what for?
Now, Bella, that's a hard one. You see, my boyfriend think it's his'n, but then it could be the Forky Teeth man owns, or the man who does Sweet Bay Street, or Peg Leg Peter. That's a hard one.
Look like you get with that when your boyfriend was in San Salvador to your uncle funeral.
Gal, thanks. I gotta count back now to see who sleep to me round that time.
You must see gotta wait till you have it and see who it look like.
I tell him, don't care who it for. Better get look like Scuttle. Well, boy, so you know him. He rolling past say, remind me never to fool with a foxy woman or your family. Well, everybody laugh, and Nidus and Elizabeth ain't say hey. When Nidus was about 6 months with the baby, she was too sick to come to work, and Elizabeth self was sick, so we could have talked good. Boys, we was under the tree again, and Boys will say, you don't notice how Elizabeth's neck look like it swell all the time now?
No, we ain't notice.
I say, we sure notice Nidus gut growing though. She look like cow.
Well, you did say she better watch out for Scuttle.
Boys will say, Nahum say he hear Elizabeth telling Placus she ain't been sleeping too good cause her throat been plaguing her. So I say that's the dates catching up with him. You see what all they just do to get rid of we?
And the thing is, even though everybody tell Placus to do something about them, plaguing y'all, cause he in charge over everybody, he say he ain't getting in no row between women them. But the least thing Lisbeth tell him he come at y'all and everybody who is y'all friend.
Well, just how she plague everybody, her throat plaguing her. Anybody wouldn't taste my banana bread?
So we share and talk about things, and we had a good lunch hour on the job for the first time in a long time. When Nidus reached 8 months, the two of them was too sick to fool with anybody. And we was under the tree again, talking again. That was we spot. So Bella say,
I noticed Lisbeth throat swell up for true like you say, Basil.
And look at how much she fall off.
Basil say, Nahum say, Placus say, she can't hardly swallow no food, so he got he fall off. So I asked him, I say, ain't and doctor? Basil say, he say something growing in his windpipe and blocking it up. Couple of them put their hand to their throat, because they couldn't take that.
And they still ain't changing their ways.
Well, I tell him, I say, I see people dying and talking bad on their dead bed, then dead without changing. Ain't nobody say nothing. Then that'll say,
Well, we gotta ask God to have mercy on us and our enemies, that he would save our dying soul.
this evening, Nidus and Elizabeth talking about their troubles on the way home down Counterbutter.
Well, Nidus, they say you don't know who the baby for, so I hope you get yourself covered. Cause if it for teeth, when he get old enough, you know it can have teeth like his own.
Yeah, but if it's for the pastor, then I can't hide that head like what all the children got.
I know which one is worse. Cause if he get forky teeth, everybody to work can know. And if he get that head, then the pastor wife And all the church people gonna know.
And if it's any of them, Mervyn, you know.
Mine Mervyn may think it's his own, you know. So you might be worrying for nothing.
Worrying for nothing? He stay a whole month to San Salvador. And even if the child ain't look like nobody, he got one sister there who don't want him with me no how. And she could count months.
You won't drink no bush to kill it when you find yourself like that.
I couldn't drink the bush, 'cause I was too sick to start with. I thought I was getting dead with this one. I was so sick.
You think you was hurted?
I won't be surprised, 'cause I don't put nothing past Mervyn's sister. You know, I just gotta sleep sitting up in the chair from the time I get with this. I can't even lay down in the bed in the day.
You too?
Yeah, if I lay down, a big ball of bloody foam will roll up from my chest and in my mouth. And why you ask if me too?
Well, I can't lay down and sleep either. 'Cause this thing what the doctor say growing in my throat make me can't breathe good. Every little while, I just have to crick my neck so I could breathe good. And I scared if I go to sleep, I gonna stop breathing for good. So I just have to sit up in the chair and sleep.
How long you been doing that?
For about the last 3 weeks. 'Cause I could feel it getting bigger.
Well, the doctor can't put you on operation.
They say they never do this kind of operation before. 'Cause they never see no growth like this before.
Who are you been to?
I been to Dr. Pode, Dr. Oidley, and Dr. Isfakas. They take x-ray and anyway, you could see my throat swell.
That's true. That been like that now for a couple of months. You know something? You say I may be hurted. You may be hurted too.
I thought about that, and I been to someone who I hear about, but he ain't do a thing to help me.
Well, you better try someone else.
I guess I may as well.
After Nida's baby born, and the sponge house was on fire with all the news. Nida's nor Elizabeth wasn't there, so we could have talked about them much as we feel like, and everybody talk, 'cause this was the first chance everybody get to talk for a little while. You know hear that one had baby, eh? I asked.
What she had?
Little boy, for your pastor. And the man wife so waxed, if you cut him, he won't bleed.
Shut your mouth. And here everyone thought it was for Forky teeth?
How they know it's for the pastor?
He had. All the children got that head. And they say she most dead before he had it.
How?
Well, he had this one while he got age. 'Cause you know, he turned 48 last week. And I hear he was sick straight through with this one. And besides, his daughter say the baby was right under the skin instead of inside the belly where he's supposed to be. When the doctor cut him to take the baby out, it was right under the skin.
Stop lie.
Since the doctor didn't know the baby was so close, he mustn't cut the baby in the eye. I hear that was something in the Victoria hospital that day. They had to operate on him.
Good gospel.
I want to know what she can tell Mervyn when he come home and see that baby ain't his own.
He ain't come back from San Salvador yet.
Yeah, but since the uncle ain't had no children, he leave the place for Mervyn. Now his brother trying to build on it, so he going back to see about it.
You know Nida's scared for him to come back.
That brute so wicked. Just how she do obey to catch Mervyn, she can try do it to keep him. So don't care what she do, he can't leave or tell somebody clear him, or tell God ready.
Yeah,
But though he can't leave her, he could kill her. I see one man take a rock and mash his sweetheart head open after they lived together for 17 years. She did fix him too, so he couldn't leave her.
God don't sleep when he don't slumber. The next week, that was a whole nother story. Lisbeth and Nidus wasn't there, so everybody joined in, especially us. You know hear about Nidus?
What she do now?
He killed a child.
No!
Woman, shut your mouth. How you don't know?
The pastor and his wife was supposed to go there Sunday after church to pray for the baby, because they ain't been to see it yet. Doctor them had to operate on the eye, so he had to stay until they could send him home. Well, you know some of them inquisitive people from Contabata had to go see it, to see who he favor, and to see the eye, though they couldn't see it because it was bandaged up. Well, the sip gone round said get the pastor head. And when he wife hear about it, she tell the pastor let them go pray for the child. That way she was gonna see for herself. First the pastor keep making excuse, then he tell her they could go see the child when he come out.
He may as well have stopped stalling, because any wife was getting, you can see him sometime.
That's how wicked and fool he is. Anyway, she heard they was coming to see it Sunday. That's yesterday. And besides that, Mervyn was supposed to come from San Salvador Saturday.
Good. That mean her backside get catch between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Girl, now you sound just like Angusta when you say that. Anyway, Nidus figured she can do what she can do. So she killed the child Friday night. That way, Mervyn won't see it Saturday, and the pastor wife won't see it Sunday.
But how? You won't say how she killed the child.
Suffocate him with piece of cloth. Boy, salute catch everything last. Ask, who suffocate who with piece of cloth?
Hello?
Who tell you now? Muggy? Who tell you now, Muggy?
Boysel still asking, who suffocate who? I say, the doctor say so. Never tell Boysel.
Nidus, Basil. Nidus.
Boysel, who does be so fool sometime, holler. Mervyn suffocate Nidus?
You good fool. Shut your mouth and listen.
Boysel, shut up and listen.
Bye, bad word. One time I was minding somebody's child. The child picked some red leaf off the match me if you can tree would border their yard from one man owns to play dollhouse. The man was waxed with the child ma, so he tried to take advantage cause she wasn't home and he commenced to beat the child.
What you do, Netta?
I commenced to beat him. So he gone and he bring one policeman. The police approach me wrong, then play biggity and pull out the billy from her. I take it away from him and beat the bad word out of him.
That's the gal.
Me, the police, and the man had to go to court. The judge tell them they too worthless, letting a woman beat two on them, and he let me keep the police billy. I got it right home. Now if I do that for somebody else's child, you think I could have the heart to kill my own? I had armor and I wasn't married, but I bring her.
That's my cousin. Then Boysel holler, I want to know what Nidus tell Mervyn when he reach.
I want to know what the pastor say to him.
Now,
I want to know what the law can do.
He going to he lodge brothers and sisters, and they can do their maths so he could go free. It was getting close to Christmas time, and everyone was talking about what all happened through the past year. So you know we talk about Lisbon and Nidus. Basil say, Nahum say, Plackett say, Lisbon ailing so bad, she ain't ever coming back to work.
What about Nidus?
Basil say, her neither.
Too shame.
How the judge get to let her off anyway?
You won't hear Muggy say what Nidus and the lodge people was can do? Basil say, you know see how much people was to that baby funeral?
All the counter butter was there.
The pastor wife say she thought she would have get to look at the child in the coffin so she could see if he looked like her husband. But Nidus slick. She tell the undertaker, don't open the box. Say she ain't want no one staring at her child like he is some puppy show.
And look at how much people was there. That looked like all the counter butter. More than half of the people from over the hill and everybody from the sponge house. Just to see who that poor baby favor so they could know who he pa is. Especially the pastor wife. No true feelings for the child.
Well, he ain't live long, but he make sure people know he been here.
The only funeral I ever see big as that was that African man on, Daddy Mike Ness, from up Fox Hill, who did bring them two little black spirit from Africa and cause all that trouble in Fox Hill. Me and my master been all the way Fox Hill for that.
So Nidus gone for good then.
No, she ain't gone yet. But she going. Is a higher power than the lodge and the judge. And one day she gotta meet her maker.
My ma say, if you live bad, you get dead bad.
So Muggy coming now. She might know what happened.
Morning. You know hear about Lisbon, eh?
Boysel say Placas and his daughters had to carry him to the hospital yesterday.
So where your boyfriend was?
Black Jack done leave up from he find out about Placas.
That's what he get for being bad like his ma.
You know hush so I could tell you know what all happened. Basil say, go ahead Muggy, I ain't missing nothing this time. They say Lisbeth Chirin and Placas was to the hospital all day yesterday with Lisbeth. But after Placas gone home, Lisbeth Chirin was sitting there side a bed just waiting. She was whistling every time she breathed. And her eye looked like they was popping out her head. His shoulder was high up by his neck, and he couldn't lay down. He had the pillow behind his back. Every couple of minutes, he pulled his two nose hole open with his two finger and sucking hard, and you just could hear his throat whistling. When the sun started going down, he jumped out the bed and gone over to the window. He take his two hands, pushing him out, pull it wide open, and try sucking breeze from the window to help him breathe. His youngest son gone over to him and wrap his arm round her and put her head on his chest. She stayed there for a little bit, still whistling, then yuck his head up off the boy's chest and say, Wick, Wick, he named Victor. Don't let the sun carry mommy. Then she moved off yam and asked where all of her large brothers and sisters. And where Nidus. How come they ain't there to help her breed? She say Nidus mix something and put in the wool and velvet sponge for Netta and me to rotten we face off when we wash we face with it. We would just see the water get bloody when we wash we face in it, but don't see no blood coming from we face. And she say if Nidus could do that, how come she ain't there to help her breed? Her children start crying and telling her to pray. She say pray? She can't waste time praying now. She gotta find someone with stronger power than Nidus to help her breed. 'Cause sun going down. Let her go outside so she could breed. They gone outside with her and she walk out to the road heading across the East Street. The children ask her where she going. She say she feel better when he walk. He gone out on East Street and turned towards the barracks. The children walking behind him. When he get to the barracks gate, he dash inside and grab the first police he meet. He two eye popping out and throat whistling. He say, listen, Nidus kill his baby, and the judge let him go free. I going to meet the great judge, so you gotta help me so he could let me go free. Then she grab his hand, say, here, push your hand in my throat and help me breathe. One other police and Elizabeth children had all they want to get her to let that man go. When they get him loose, she break off of the barracks yard. By this time, Nahum was just starting to go around to light the street lamp them, 'cause that's what he doing since he leave the sponge house. He say when she see the sun gone and it was dusk, she break off running and calling the sun and telling it don't leave her. The two police and a children trying to catch her. Now you know one of the first things police is trained to do when they join the force is run. And sick as she was and can't hardly breathe, that had her running like hind till she get to East Hill Street corner. Then Nahum say all of a sudden she stop short, tear open her mouth wide with her left hand and jerk down in her throat with her right middle finger. He only see when the blood gush out and the children start screaming. When Elizabeth see what she do to herself, she turn back and the two police reach him the same time. He frap one police and hold him with one death grip. That time he drowning on the blood every time he try to draw breath. So he two eye popping out the head. And now the another police and the children had all they want to get a hand loose off of the one she frap. When they get him loose, Elizabeth shake his head and stamp his foot, then drop on one knee on the ground and start crawling. Soon as he start crawling, one last big gush of blood spout out and he drop dead. Nahum say and all of this was happening so fast, he couldn't catch himself. He say he never see so much blood in his life. The two police uniform was full of blood. The children clothes was full of blood. Blood was in the road. And he can get saved, 'cause he don't want to go meet his maker like that. And he ain't never want to see a soul leave this earth like that again as long as he live. No one say a word. Then Netta asked,
Nahum did say who the two police was?
oh Netta, one was Harrison, the Barbadian who you had Alma for.
I had a feeling it was him.
The Almighty does sometimes let things happen so all we could learn. Lisbeth was willing to do obey on Netta and Placus, even if she go to hell for it, just for sponge money.
Love ya, love ya, love ya, love ya. You got spend your money. Spend your money never done. Spend your money. Spend your money a lot of fun. You got spend your money. Sing girl sing, sing girl sing, sing girl sing. Girl you got throwing money. Throwing money never done. Throwing money. Throwing money's a lot of fun. You got throwing money. Go boy go, go to the farm. Go boy go.